I'm Inga Dowden from Polyglot Coaching, and I'm the Business Growth and Happiness Specialist. Today I held a talk at the Business Network Southwest networking event, and I wanted to share this with you. Unfortunately, due to some technical glitch, the introduction wasn't recorded, so I thought I'd do this now, and the rest will be the taped event of when it actually happens. So, as this was for a group of business owners, I was thinking about what to talk about, and I thought, so I asked one of my clients and I said, what is it that you would like to know about? And he immediately said, how to keep my customers happy and still make a profit. A lot of businesses want to give gold star customer service, but they find that sometimes that can eat into their profitability. So I'm going to give you 5 tips of things you can do to make more profit and still keep your customers very happy. The first thing is knowing your numbers. There's only one way to make profit, and that is to sell your goods or services at a price that is higher than what it costs you to make or buy in these goods or services. That's quite simple, isn't it? So what's really important is that you know exactly what your real cost price is. Now I'm going to go over to the tape bit. There's going to be a bit of laughter in the beginning, but the rest of the talk, I'm sure you will love. Business coach, happiness specialist, not a technology specialist. So, to recap, I'm giving you five tips on how to make more profit and keep your customers happy. First one being know your numbers. So we're talking about the overheads. And they're not this little thing that appears at the end of the year on your accounts. You really need to know what they are in relationship to your turnover. A lot of people, what they do is they take their cost price, then they add 35, 50 or even 100% and just hope that covers it. And secretly, they actually think they make 35 to 50 to sometimes even 100% profit, which isn't even possible. But they think they do. So what you need to do is very, very simple. Even I know that I'm no financial expert. You take your turnover from last year, you take your overheads from last year, and you work out what the percentage is that they represent. So let's say you had a £100,000 turnover, you had £24,000 overheads. You know you need to add at least 24% on top of that cost price for when you buy something to just break even and cover your costs. Okay? So that's one thing. The other thing is your time. Time is the most precious thing you have in business as well as in life. My favourite saying is, if you spent all your money, you can always go out and earn some more. But if you spent all your time, it's gone forever. And I just want you to think about that for a minute. It's really important. Your time is infinite. The number of times I get people, asking for my service, what do they want help with? Time management. So you need to know what your time is worth. And a really good way to do that, it can be really involved in lots of complicated things, but a really good way of doing that is by taking how much you can earn when you're really effective. When you're either delivering your service or you're selling really well, how much can you earn? That is your optimum hourly rate. And every time you're doing something that isn't maximizing that, you're wasting your time. Now, again, like I said, it's a bit more involved than that, but main things to remember is include your overheads and be aware of what your time costs, and add it to your cost. The other thing, so the next thing is set expectations. This, I think, is almost more important. I mean, cost is very important, but once you've got it sorted, you've got it sorted. Setting expectations. Customers, just like everyone else, just want to know what they can expect. So if you tell them that the delivery time is 4 weeks, the minimum order value is £250, and they need to pay you within 30 days, on the whole, they'll agree with that. Sure, everybody always wants everything for free, the next day, with really long payment terms, if they have to pay for it, but they also know that that's not realistic. So telling customers what they can expect is the professional way of dealing with them. And the reason why I'm saying it like that is the professional way, is a lot of people think that in order to get and keep customers, they have to bend over backwards. And they end up promising things they can't live up to. And that's when you really have a problem. So, the easiest way to keep your customers happy is to just under-promise and over-deliver. in that order, never the other way around. Okay? So if you know it takes 4 weeks, tell them it takes 5 weeks. And if you can then deliver in 3.5 or in 4, they'll be delighted. Whereas if you say, oh, I can do it in 3 weeks, but you really can't, and you deliver in 4, they're really annoyed. And in both cases, you've delivered in 4 weeks. Okay? So setting expectations is a really important one as well. Also, be honest. Don't be afraid to explain why the delivery time is so long, or why the price has to be at a certain level in order for you to make a profit. They'll understand that. You want a long-term relationship with your customers. You don't just want a one-off deal. And as with any relationship, communication and honesty is the key to success. Also, don't be afraid to tell them you want to make a profit. You know, you're not, unless you are, but you're not a charity. There's always, well, there is always some charities. You know, but if you're not a charity, you know, they should be in it for the long term as well. Finding good suppliers is often just as hard as finding good customers. So if they've got a good suppliers, they have to want to, for you to still be there next year and the year after. And the only way that's going to happen is if you make a profit. So never make any bones about the fact that you want to make some money out of this deal. Because they'll try and screw you to the lowest price, but you say, actually, no, because I want to make a profit, and there's no problem with saying that. You do want to give them the best price, you don't want to rip them off, but it has to be a win-win situation. A good price for you, and a good price for them. Fourth, loving that door, really, really great. Fourth is dealing with mistakes. Now, mistakes are funny things, because nobody wants to make them, yet everybody does. Whether it's a computer glitch or human error, stuff just goes wrong. Nobody expects perfection, because everybody is human. So don't panic if something goes wrong. But research has shown that a customer who's had a complaint dealt with in a really good way is happier and more likely to recommend you than someone who's never even had a problem in the first place. And, okay, so now I'm not suggesting go out and create some problems, because you won't have to make an effort, they will happen automatically anyway. But I just say, if they do happen, make sure you deal with them promptly and with a bit of panache. So, first rule, I think, is don't blame anyone, even if it is somebody else. Just accept responsibility, say, really sorry, that went wrong. Could have been a carrier, could have been whatever, but that went wrong. Let me put it right for you. Then you put it right, and then you do a little bit extra. You send them a little card, you send them some chocolates, or what's really good is you ring them up a week later and say, has everything been resolved to your satisfaction? And you'd be surprised what a big difference that makes. Okay, very good. Finally, I really want you to have a strategy in place to wow your customers. Good customer service is common sense, but unfortunately not very common. Yet still people simply expect you to deliver what you said you were going to deliver at a time you said you would. So that's the minimum you need to do. But trust me, if you do that, you're already standing out from the competition very often, but still, it's the minimum. The next thing is to just think of ways you can really add that extra wow factor for your customers. And what are some of the things you could do? Now, I know some office supply companies, they send a box of cookies with their deliveries. Simple box of cookies, doesn't cost them a lot of money, or some packs of Kit Kats sometimes, and that's a really nice thing to do. It brightens up somebody's day. It isn't, cookies are innocent, you know, it's not like expensive bottles of whiskey that can be conceived as a bribe. Cookies are just nice. It cheers up their day, makes them feel good, and when you make them feel good, they will remember you. You can remember things about them. So you can collect this in CRM systems and whatnot, but you can remember their birthdays or their wedding anniversaries. And let's say you're a restaurant or a florist, you can send them a voucher a week before their birthday. Let's say a restaurant, you can send them a voucher and say, hey, birthday girl eats free, why don't you pop in within the next 2 weeks to celebrate your birthday? Nobody celebrates their birthday on their own. They'd be a little bit sad. So you still get 3 or 6 or 7, 8 more people coming into the restaurants, and you make a profit. Because that's also the clue. When you're trying to wow your customers, you do things that are of high perceived value to them, but of low cost to you. Because again, you don't want to erode your profitability. It's very easy if you send everyone on Caribbean holidays. You'd be very popular, I'm sure, but that profitability we talked about earlier will just go, down the drain. Other things you can do is you can nominate your customers for awards. I noticed happened to somebody I know, and they were, really delighted and surprised. They actually won it as well, so that was really good. Or you can invite them to events. Invite them to events you're speaking at, for example, or networking events, or if you have an inauguration or a party or things like that, little things. They can be big things, but they can also be just little things. What's also really good to do is promoting them on social media. So you might think, well, I haven't got any budget for this sort of stuff. Promoting people on social media is completely free and does really give that impact of going, oh, that's really nice. I mean, who here gets these endorsements on LinkedIn? Everybody, because they are a bit automated, they come up, all you have to do is press one button and you have endorsed 4 people. Doesn't matter. The person who gets that email and says, Paul and Jodie endorsed you for your skill, you go, oh, that's nice. That's nice of them. So when you do that for other people, you will stand out. Give recommendations on LinkedIn. Retweet stuff that they put out there. Anything you can do, or just promote them on, they have a great service, or they're organising an event, or they're doing something, promote it. Sean's done that very kindly for this event I'm organising. He's put it on, and every time you do it, I go, oh my God, he's done that, that's really nice. And I promote his event to everybody else, and that's how it works. So who else here can think of something they can do to wow their customers, or who is doing something special, apart from Matt? Matt's special anyway. Matt is the person to go to if you want to do something special for your customers, by the way. Who's doing something? Who has a specific strategy? Yes, yeah.
And you can fill in this quick survey. FOP, we're trying to find out about business confidence in the Southwest, and be grateful if you could complete it. We're going to publish the results at the end of the month, and we'll give it to everybody. And you can see, are you happy like Inga says, or are you miserable like I feel it sometimes?
Great, yes.
We're running another photographic competition of door installations.
Brilliant, brilliant.
We did last year, and got a fantastic amount of response.
So that's a great thing to do. Peter sells sliding doors, beautiful bifold doors. So doing something that is a competition, somebody can win some. Can they win some doors?
No, they win a £100
I was just going to say, because that would be an amazing prize, but £100 voucher. You get engagement from your customers. They engage with your brand, and they'll feel part of you. It's all about that relationship building. Anybody else? Anything specific? Oh yes.
We invite our clients each month to nominate a charity.
Mm-hmm.
If we select a charity, then that charity gets a payment of money, depending upon the number of PCs that we sell.
Oh,
We
brilliant.
guarantee a minimum every month.
Brilliant.
And that feels good for them, because they're nominating a charity, doing something special. Great PR, and it helps position the business, being different.
Brilliant on lots of
Very
levels.
Me Too sector.
Yeah, absolutely. So people feel best when they do something for somebody else. So, and if you then can link it in with your business, it's win-win is always what you're trying to go for. So that's it. My 5 tips for making more profit and keeping customers happy. Know your numbers, set expectations, be honest, deal with mistakes, and wow your customers. I want you all to go back to your office now, figure out your numbers, and think of one thing you can do to wow your customers. And then go forth and be profitable.